Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with One Punch Man. Last time on One Punch Man, we had the Varieties of Pride, where basically the hero squad ended up losing to Garo, and we also got the inferiority complex of Death Gatling, and how he basically thinks that Class S gets too much, praise and information and all that stuff. I guess they have too much privilege, even though they kind of have a right to what they do. But he does make a good point that every hero should be treated equally, basically. But the group was defeated by Garo, but luckily one of them did call for backup, and Genos showed up to fight Garo. But then, before the fight could really go anywhere, Silverfang showed up, and now he is going to be taking on Garo, while his brother takes on the monsters that are there, and I guess Genos just chills out, and also Saitama could be on his way. So yeah, this is the finale of Season 2 of One Punch Man. Isn't that crazy? Yes, we are on to the finale of One Punch Man Season 2. I guess there's kind of nothing else to say about that. I did actually look up that I believe Season 3 has been delayed, so maybe quite a while before we get back, but I assure you that once One Punch Man returns to our screens in the dub, I will be back to it for more reactions, definitely, because I've really, really enjoyed this series. For a series that is, sort of I guess maybe not necessarily a parody of superheroes, but I suppose a satire of superhero stories and stuff. I've honestly really, really enjoyed One Punch Man, seriously and comedically. It's been really, really good. So I'll miss it, but we still have one more episode. Like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and get right into this episode of One Punch Man. Here we go. Alrighty, that is it for the second season of One Punch Man. Well, I gotta say, first off, I was wrong. Garo's storyline is not ending here. It will continue on now that he is with the Monster Association. Oh, boy. Which I am actually kind of glad for, because I do like Garo. He's an interesting villain, all things considered. So I do like him, so I'm glad we have that. The only thing, though, this almost doesn't feel like a finale, Because I feel like nothing is resolved. Okay, we still have the war with the Monster Association. Garo is still out there, and just now he's with the Monster Association. And that's about it. I don't know. Also, I was kind of thinking, okay, here's our squad, Here's our squad at the end of all of our friends, It was all right, here's Saitama, Genos, Silverfang, and now Bomb as well. And King is there, and I was like, the only person we're missing from our squad is Blizzard. Because she was part of our squad, at the beginning, we turned her into a friend, and I want more of her, I do really want more of her. So, but yeah, it is just kind of strange that it's okay, I guess, we're done with the season, and it is going to be a little while before we get to Season 3. So, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's a finale, but Season 1 ended the Boros storyline, So I almost feel like that's what we should have, but no. This story is going to continue on into Season 3, whenever that comes out. Maybe part of it also is that I feel like this season they forgot what to do with Saitama. They had, I guess, and this goes down to the author of the manga. I feel like it is like, okay, here's a bunch of interesting situations. Like, okay, now what do I do with Saitama? And so he's kind of just sidelined through the entire season, through most of this arc. To where, like, yeah, this episode, he only shows up for a cameo at the end, So, yeah, I don't know. Whereas last season, you got so much of Saitama and him, doing things, and you got Saitama versus Boros, which was a legitimate fight, So, whereas here is like, okay, yeah, it's cool the way they beat Sentichuro, but first off, Sentichuro was not even on my radar anymore. Like, he was just gone, Like, I stopped thinking about him, but then it's like, oh, he's here and he's a really big threat. Like, okay, that makes sense. And, oh, Genos can't defeat him, so I wonder who's gonna beat him. And yeah, and then he just comes in and he wins, and that's the end. So yeah. I do like how they say, though, that the only people that could beat Sentichuro, well, obviously they say King because they think King is the strongest, but I do like how they say not only Blast, but also Tornado. Tornado could beat Sentichuro. So, yeah. I like that. I think that's cool. I want more of Tornado as well. So, anyway. So we can go ahead and hop into the notes, although I don't think this is going to be a too terribly long discussion. The first thing I wrote down is Bang and Bomb. That was really cool, seeing the two of them fighting. I also like how Garo makes note that it's unlike Bang to just start wailing on someone, like he doesn't normally do that. But this is a different situation with him, so that's pretty interesting. If anything, he kind of abandons being a hero, and this is more personal now, He's not really there as the number 3 hero, Class S rank 3, but he's more there as a master who needs to deal with his fallen apprentice, It is also interesting how they say that, like, oh, well, they have no shame, they're teaming up on me, But, you obviously understand why they're doing that. And, I mean, it is just interesting that, Garo has been put through the ringer here, because he got his ass kicked by Watchdog Man. Then he literally got kicked by Saitama. Then he had to fight the hero team, the hero squad, the less squad, because they're less than S. Ha ha ha. Okay. Anyway, had to deal with them. Got poisoned. Then had to deal with Genos, and now has to deal with Bang and Bomb. So yeah, it's such a strange, like, he was put through the ringer, but even then he was still coming back and still fighting, So yeah, and honestly, I guess he really is, like, he's kind of like Genos. Like, he is incredibly powerful, but he can't finish the job right now, He can't really finish the job right now, and he's lacking a certain strength, Which Genos also says he's missing. He's missing that strength. Which is unfortunate because it's like King said, it's like, don't have your bar be Saitama. You'll never make it, Like, that doesn't work. If you make your bar Saitama, you'll never make it, Because Genos is so ridiculously powerful in his own right, It's just that he always ends up in a fight where he can't finish the job, So yeah. We also got a little bit more of Garo's backstory, which I like. That in class, in school, they would play Heroes and Monsters, and the popular kid, was always the hero, and he, justice kicks people. And Garo didn't like that. It's like, look, you don't have to be so rough, even if we're just playing, like, come on. and then he would get beaten up for it, basically. And then he was blamed on top of it for being in fights, you know? So with that, you can understand a little bit more of where he's coming from. And I like how he says, I don't do this for, you know, for good or for evil or anything like that. He's beyond concepts of good and evil. He's looking out for the underdog. He fights for every underdog there's ever been. And to him, for the most part, the underdog is the monster. The heroes are not the underdog, it's the monster. But now he, as a monster, is the underdog facing Bang and Bomb and Genos, you know? So that's the thing, is that he literally... Which I like how he says that he fights for every underdog, you know? Like, I really do like that. It gives a bit more of his mindset, you know? I mean, you know, it's so strange where, like, if you looked at Garo's backstory on paper, and not just in the manga, but if you looked at it, like, if someone, like, you know, wrote out Garo's origin, basically, and gave it to you, you would probably look at it and be like, what? This is his, you know, for our, you know, big villain of season 2, our hero hunter, this is, like, you know, his conviction and everything. You look at it as like, I don't understand why this is so crazy. But then that's what I love. Like, every time I look at something, it's like, okay, on paper, this sounds like one of the dumbest fucking things ever. But then when you see that in the show, in a show or a movie or anything, you look at it, it's like, oh, that's what they're going for. Once, you know, they can actually start to get the emotion across, like, oh, okay, I get it, you know? So it's just so interesting. So yeah, it's, again, this underdog story of him and, you know, Tatsu and everything, like, you wouldn't think that would make for such an interesting backstory and mindset for our hero hunter, but it does, you know? And then we got Sentachuro, which I thought originally they said Sentacharo when he first showed up back in episode 4. But they've been saying Sentachuro, and I thought it said Sentacharo on screen. So, but apparently it's Sentachuro. Oh well. I do like him coming back because, again, he just sort of showed up last time. And the thing was, you know, if it wasn't for Garo, Metal Bat would have gone and kept fighting, you know? And now who knows if Metal Bat could have actually done anything, but, you know, last we saw was Metal Bat, you know, he gets the bat, it's like, oh, well, I'm back to work, back to the old grind, you know? And that's when he's stopped by Garo, you know? So, and even when he was fighting Garo, he was like, okay, I gotta take this guy out, because I gotta go fight Sentachuro next, you know? So that's the thing. It's interesting having Sentachuro be, I guess, sort of the big final fight of the season, you know? Throat's getting a little dry and raspy, so... I did like Bang and Bomb fighting, because, again, it's like, you know, these guys, you know, they're martial arts masters, and only one of them is an actual hero. Only Bang is a hero. But, you know, Bang, he's Class S rank 3, and presumably Bomb is on the same sort of skill level as him. So, I like seeing them facing Sentachuro, because it's such a different thing that that's not the sort of matchup you would normally see, you know? It is sort of, it kind of reminds me that earlier in the episode when Garo starts, you know, going around like on all fours and everything, and that style he adapted from Watchdog Man, which didn't exactly work on Bang. But that's the thing, is Bang is, you know, his martial arts is supposed to be on a certain sized fighter, on a more humanoid fighter. So, but I do like how they do land a pretty serious hit on Sentachuro. It's just that he can molt and, you know, basically regain new armor and keep going, you know? So, yeah. I did like Genos saying, you know, should I be more cautious or should I be more rash? Which is a good question, you know, like, because here's the thing is that, you know, should they be cautious and try to run away? Well, if you do that, then Sentachuro could go massacre a city. Or do you stay and fight, probably knowing you can't do this, you know? But it is one of those things at the very least, like, if I thought Genos was going to say, like, I'll hold him here as long as I can, you guys need to go get Master Saitama, you know? Because Saitama will be able, Master will be able to defeat this thing, you know? I thought that's where he was going, but all he said was, I'll hold it here as long as I can, you know? But presumably, what he's thinking is, I can hold it here, they get out, maybe try to get people to safety, hopefully someone like Master Saitama or Tornado show up, or Blast, who, I guess because Blast has a history with Sentichuro, that does confirm that Blast is real, but I'll believe it when I see it. So, I've still got my little conspiracy theory that Blast doesn't actually exist. And he's just there to make sure, like, none of the heroes get, some weird complex going. Like, some rank 1 complex going on. A superiority complex. Which, I guess it doesn't really help. I mean, it doesn't exactly help, because Tornado already has a superiority complex, but we don't really know what her thoughts on Blast are. So, but the whole thing about Caution is very interesting, because, again, it's like, do I run, or do I keep fighting? And the thing is, we already know Metal Bat was throwing away Caution, like, alright, I have to go face this thing. It's my job, I'm a hero, I have to do this. Even if I can do it, I have to go do this. So Genos took the Metal Bat route. And he had a good shot, man. That's the thing. Everything Genos does is so impressive. But the fact that there's so many times where he just can't finish the job, He can't beat Sonic, he couldn't beat the Deep Sea King, and he couldn't beat Sentichuro. But he got really damn close by trying to blow it up from the inside, which was very clever, It just couldn't finish the job. And that's the thing when he says, like, I'm lacking strength. You have so much strength, Genos. But your bar is too high, And speaking of strength, we do have... I liked Garo talking about, I wanted to do this with my own strength. And I like how, the one guy... That one guy, by the way... The bird sounds exactly like Nephrite from the Viz dub of Sailor Moon, which I'm currently watching that on my own time, and so he's been in a lot of episodes lately, and that sounds exactly like him. Which, speaking of voices, you guys can go ahead and tell me, but Sentichuro sounds like Richard Epcar, who voices Joseph Joestar in Stardust Crusaders, as well as Bobobo in Bobobo. So, yeah. Which he's done a couple voices in this season as well. Like, I remember he was that one Rhino guy, and I think he was one of the samurai that Atomic Samurai went to, or I guess one of the swordsmen. So, he's done a number of voices, but I'm pretty sure he voices Sentichuro, but you guys can confirm in the comments. But yeah, Garo saying that he wants to do this with his own strength, and right now he doesn't come close to, his strength doesn't compare to Sentichuro's or even King Orochi's. So now, I guess it's a new conviction for him. He's going to heal up, get back to 100%, and then go beyond, I guess. So yeah, I like using King to lure away Sentichuro. I thought that was very, very clever. And presumably King is going to get all the credit for defeating Sentichuro and not Saitama, but Saitama doesn't really care about that. But King, honestly, that may be the first thing he's done as a hero, Like, even without any of his power, I think that is the first thing he's ever done like a hero, because everything else has always been someone else defeats the bad guy and he is around, so he takes credit for it. But we've never seen him do literally anything else. But I like him, he requests the information about Sentichuro, and he's like, okay, I can use this, and he goes and he uses it, distracts Sentichuro. That brings him over, and then Saitama takes him out. If anything, even though, yes, King didn't actually fight, King was a hero there. That is something to help. So, the first hero moment we've ever seen from King. So that was really great. And then obviously it's amazing to see Saitama one punch something, which have we had him one punch anything this season? Well, yeah, because he one punched the bird in the first episode, but for the most part we just haven't seen him do much fighting, because even in the tournament, yes, he one punch, so he was punching people and knocking them out, but we didn't see too much of it. I guess the last time was with Bakuzan and Goketsu, and even Goketsu was off screen. But this was a full, crazy animation, everything punch, and just completely obliterating Sentichuro. So that was awesome. And then the last thing I wrote down was strength, that Genos believes he is lacking in strength, which in comparison to Saitama, yes, but he... I don't know. It's such a tricky thing because Genos kind of always has to be the guy that loses, but his power is so incredible, So it's kind of unfortunate, really, that it's like, this is just sort of the perpetual state Genos will always be in. But still, he puts up a damn good fight. He needs to recognize that he puts up a damn good fight, and he is powerful, and they're always beautifully animated. But yeah, that is the second season of One Punch Man in the books. Next week, like I said, obviously there is no One Punch Man season 3 as of yet. We will get back to that when it comes out in the dub. Next week, I believe, if I've got the timing right, we should actually be, this episode should be going up around the same time that I'm starting Star Wars The Bad Batch. So that should actually have already started by the time this goes up on YouTube. So next week, more of The Bad Batch, and then, I don't know, I'll figure out some other show to put up on Saturday. So, yeah. This was great season, really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to get to season 3. Hopefully we'll get an announcement on any sort of release date soon. So yeah, that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my One Punch Man reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.